Good afternoon. My name's Sean Gregson. I'm Staff Sergeant in the Homicide Unit, SEANGREGSON. We have now charged three 15-year-old youths with the first-degree murder in the homicide of Carter SPIVAK-VILLENEUVE. On Friday, August 1st, we were called to the community of Abergale for reports of a person in medical distress. Upon arrival, officers located a deceased male, which was later identified as Carter. An autopsy later confirmed he was the victim of a homicide. Following our investigation, our detectives identified several suspects, all youth, who were believed to have been involved in Carter's death. It is alleged that the accused were involved in an ongoing dispute with him and that they had arranged to meet him on the night of his death. Last week, with the assistance of the RCMP in Saskatchewan, we arrested a 15-year-old male, and yesterday we arrested two additional 15-year-old males. All three are now facing first-degree murder charges. The ages of those involved in this case are very troubling, and Carter's loss is a devastating reminder of how seemingly insignificant conflict between youth can escalate with irreversible damages. Carter's death was senseless, and the lives of everyone involved have now been changed. Thank you.
I think probably the most disturbing detail in this is the fact that the investigation seems to have revealed, they essentially lured him to kill him. Is that right?
Yeah, we believe that there was an arrangement to meet him there, so there's some element to that, yes.
And the other two are both now charged, because the release said one was charged and one was pending, so they're now both.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And they're both from Calgary?
Yeah.
What's the max charge for a youth with a first-degree murder charge? What's the max penalty that can be applied?
Ooh, you caught me on that one there too. They're obviously going to fall under the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act, so that's ultimately going to be up to the courts to determine that sentence.
Can you speak to, and I know that there was a quote from you in the release itself, and you did mention it, but just that the irreversible damage, like these are kids having what you would presume is a kid level dispute.
Yeah.
And now someone's dead.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that speaks to the volume of this type of incident, which, let's boil it down to, this is a stupid dispute amongst youth that probably have not fully thought through the consequences of here. And then it's got devastating, life-altering consequences for everybody involved here, and it's not worth it. But at this stage, there's a group mentality, and they follow through, and now look what happens.
You guys see like the worst of the worst. Is this one of those cases that sticks out in a sort of, I can hardly believe it kind of sense?
Every time I see something like this, it's sad and it's like senseless, and they all stick out.
Anything else?
I'm sorry if you touched on it. Do we have any idea what the dispute was about?
We do, but again, that's at the end of the day, this will come out when it goes to court. We like to hear if there's other people out there with information. We like to hear that information fresh as opposed to putting it out into the public. So we'll let that play out in court for now.
You did say the investigation is ongoing. Do we anticipate there are more youth that could be facing charges because of this?
If there are, we'll be sure to let you know.
With the first-degree murder charge means premeditated, do you have like a timeline of like how long they were planning to possibly execute this situation?
Well, the planning is one element behind the first-degree charges, right? And there's also other provisions that can lead to those first-degree charges. And I'll leave it at that for now.
And did Carter, he showed up alone, like he agreed to meet them, he knew who he was meeting, there were clearly more of them than him, like did he have any backup or anybody in his corner?
Again, some of those are the details that we want to just keep a little bit tighter for now. And out of no disrespect, but just so if there's other people that do want to come forward, now that they know that there's some people in custody, we'll wait to hear that first.
Obviously the news has been delivered to the family or you wouldn't be speaking to us. They had put out a plea for any information in August right after Carter's death. Have you been able to speak to them? Is there a sense of relief for them?
As you can imagine, it's devastating, right? And it doesn't get easier. It's maybe a little bit of relief, and we've given some answers, but still devastated.
But to hear those details, to know that your son was lured, it's gotta be unbelievable.
Horrible.
I do have a larger scope question. You may not have the numbers to it, but is this part of a trend of more youth violent crime?
Well, it's definitely a violent incident, right? I don't know if we can loop it into a bigger trend right now. But we do have the resources out there, though. And this is an instance where have somebody felt that they were in a bad situation, reach out to the SROs within your schools, reach out to our community news services. There's tons of resources on our websites. There's help out there that people can go to as opposed to trying to solve these situations in the middle of the night on their own.
Can you speak to the cooperation? Obviously, one of these youth was in Saskatchewan, and so you would have needed cooperation with other departments and other jurisdictions.
Yep, great cooperation with the RCMP, our communication with them ahead of time, and through these events as they unfolded, it's worked out really well. So we thank them.
You probably can't answer this, but were these kids shocked, surprised to find out they were being arrested, surprised that they'd been caught?
That's an odd one. I'm assuming they knew it was likely coming.
Anything else? Nope.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank